Hello and welcome everyone. Today's video features the brand new Tier VIII Premium Russian battleship Borodino. The Borodino is based on a small battleship project developed in the early 1950s with strong main armament concentrated on her fore end. The Borodino will be available in the premium store and in the armory, and the cheapest option will be 12,800 doubloons. Before going through a complete review guide of the Borodino, let me put up the build I have been using in this gameplay, and all the numbers quoted in this video are based on this exact build. This is what is referred to as a full tank build on a battleship. Despite the main battery guns all being on the fore end, I've still chosen Grease the Gears over Priority Target, and I do use Concealment Expert as the Borodino is quite a large battleship, and when facing Tier 10 opposition regularly, being able to disengage and drop detection at range will be key to your survival at times. Like any good battleship, the foundation starts with a strong armor layout. Using a simple port screenshot, we can see the Borodino gets an upper fore and aft end section of 25mm, a fore end armor belt of 50mm, and an additional strip of 100mm, giving additional protection just ahead of the front turret. Aft end armor belt is the same 50mm, with an additional small strip of 200mm of armour protecting the rudder. The main belt armour is 220mm of plating, which extends both above and below the waterline. The upper casemate armour is joined to the main deck, both of which consist of 50mm of armour protection. The obvious weakness of the 25mm upper bow and stern armour is not as bad as it seems, however, and additional screenshots of the internal armour are required to show this. The citadel at Warship is protected by an additional 400mm against frontal fire, and from the rear it gets 180mm of sloped armour protection. So when angled correctly, the Borodino can withstand quite a bit of punishment. Positioning is everything for a battleship, and the Borodino is no exception. The Borodino is a very large ship, making her quite an easy target if you overextend, getting too close early on in games. Ideal positioning will allow for enemy ships to be within range of your main battery armament, while making sure to protect your below average belt armour. A good position is bow on, slightly angled to your opponents and at a range outside your concealment distance. Should your flank face the risk of being overrun, allowing you to drop detection and making any kind of dangerous turn in advance of the enemy push while being undetected. Protecting this side armour is of utmost importance. Should you get caught in a turn, damage taken can often prove devastating. Due to the combination of being a very large ship, a huge citadel with below average battleship main belt armour, the Borodino differs from her Russian counterparts, getting the standard damage control party with unlimited charges, and with the captain skill superintendent for repair parties. And Borodino is unique as being the first Russian battleship to get long distance 12km radar, which has a 25-second duration. Finally, survivability wise, Borodino gets 64,200 hit points and a torpedo protection damage reduction 24%. So we come to the main battery. Two triple mounted 406mm gun turrets, both placed forward facing. These turrets have a frontal plating of 495mm a top plating of 270mm, sloped side plating of 230mm, and finally a rear plating of 410mm. These 406mm guns have a reload time of 31 seconds, with a max firing range of 19.6 kilometers, with a max dispersion of 198 meters, with a sigma of 2.0. With greased gears, these turrets have a 180-degree turning time of 25 seconds and can fire both high explosive and armor-piercing rounds. The Borodino's high explosive rounds can inflict a max damage of 5800, they can penetrate 68mm of armor and have a 40% chance of setting the target on fire. The Borodino's armor-piercing rounds can inflict a max damage of 13,250, which is marginally higher than its same tier compatriots Lenin and Vladivostok, and both of these shell types have uniform shell ballistics of 830 meters per second, again faster than both the Lenin and Vladivostok. Borodino's secondary armament is made up of two twin-mounted 180mm guns, but both are situated on the ship's stern. These 180mm guns have a reload time of 5.7 seconds, firing high explosive rounds with a max damage of 2500. These HE shells can penetrate 30mm of armor and have quite a fast shell speed of 1000 meters per second and a max firing range of 7.3 kilometers. However, due to the small number of actual secondary guns and their positioning, I would highly advise against trying any kind of secondary build, as it simply comes at too great a cost to the ship's survivability. In terms of AA defense, Borodino gets a rating of 71, with 76 AA guns in total, ranging from 25mm right up to 180mm. All combined, they can pump out a continuous average damage of 307, but the vast majority of this is shared between short and medium range damage. The Borodino is capable of only firing 2 shell explosions per flak salvo, with a max damage of 1911 and a max firing range of 5.8 kilometers. Personally, I found this AA to be much weaker than both the Vladivostok and the Lenin, both of which can fire 5 shell explosions. It just means enemy aircraft have far less flak to dodge, making their attacks much easier. Combine this with the sheer size of the Borodino and you'll realize your positioning close to other friendly ships is of utmost importance, and you must avoid getting isolated if at all possible when facing enemy aircraft carriers. As already stated many times, the Borodino is a large ship, and that's reflected greatly in her maneuverability. She gets a base speed of 31.6 knots, which can be increased to 33.2 when mounting the Sierra Mike signal flag, a very large turning circle radius of 1060 meters, and a rudder shift time of 12.3 seconds, and this is mounting the steering gears mod in slot 4. This turning circle is huge and far greater than its Tier 8 compatriots, only being slightly lower than the Kremlin's turning circle. Finally, stats-wise, we come to the Borodino's concealment rating of 42, which equates to a surface detection range of 13.7 kilometers, and by enemy aircraft at 9.5 kilometers. Borodino is not exactly a stealthy battleship due to its large size, and positioning will be oh so important. Personally, I've struggled with the Borodino throughout testing. I would advise resisting the temptation of trying to get close and using radar early on in games, as it tends to get you into more trouble than it's worth. Late game, however, it can be very powerful. Subconsciously, I've always kind of disliked battleships that only have 6 guns, as I feel poor RNG and dispersion punishes you even more than usual. And the reload, I really felt, needed some love, as it's only 2 seconds faster than the Lenin and the Vladivostok, despite having 3 less guns. With all that being said, I'm sure Battleship players will find a way to make the Borodino work. I hope you enjoyed the video and I was able to provide you some useful information on the Borodino to inform you on your decision whether to add her to your port. And if not, it's always good to know what the Borodino on the enemy team is capable of. If you'd like to see some more live Borodino gameplay, I stream on Twitch regularly throughout the week. You can see the link here on screen, and feel free to come on over if you have any questions or just want to hang out with some chilled out gameplay. I look forward to seeing you all. I'd like to thank you once again all for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more. Take a moment to check out some of my most recent videos and leave a comment below. And until the next time, keep sailing it like you stole it.